I know Cooper Flagg still got a couple more games left, probably, but let's just fast forward. We did speak on the Hornets in the last segment. Lou, are you buying that Cooper Flagg makes the Hornets a playoff team next year?
I mean, I don't think so. Not yet. I don't want to make it about Cooper Flagg. I just think in the entirety of what you're looking at. You're looking at a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 9 seasons, 18 and whatever this year, finishing out the season. Is he going to be a guy that's going to flip that entire thing around? I'm not sure. I think he'll be a great piece to add to it. So right now, I'm going to say no. And if he was the piece to turn them into a playoff team, I think that precisely makes him the best player on that team, right? If he's able to come in and be able to change the culture in a way that's impactful in that way. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think LaMelo Ball is still going to be the guy for the Charlotte Hornets for seasons and seasons to come. But I think he'll be a great pickup for any team that's in a rebuild that's coming. But other than that, I don't think he comes in and completely changes the culture of a program or a franchise. So my answer is no, not buying.
Not buying. I mean, that's a turnaround. Well, look, the Pistons just had a massive turnaround in the course of a season.
Yeah,
we're not thinking
a lot has to go right. They have to sign other free agents. They have to get some vet guys like the Pistons. That they have to add to what they already have of this young kind of solid core. And Cooper Flagg's going to be very good. But this is a team that's 15, 16 games right now out of the play-in. And that's including teams like Philly that's been, horrendous season, that they're going to be better. And every team that's already in, pretty much the Bulls, the Heat, the Magic, the Hawks, those teams really aren't going anywhere. Toronto's going to get a full off season with Brandon Ingram. So it's going to be tough. Again, there's a reason he's going to go number 1 to the worst team in the NBA, because they're the really bad team. So playoff team, I doubt it. Nowadays with the play-in and stuff, maybe they find a way to sneak in the play-in. Who knows? But right now, I would say no.
Okay, that's 2 no's. Moving on, Chandler. Pat Bev said that he would take James Harden over Dwayne Wade because of longevity. So are you buying that? Harden better than Wade?
No, I don't think he is. I think offensively, maybe he's more innovative. He's more creative. He scores better. He can play point guard. But when you look at the top 3 shooting guards, in my opinion, it's MJ, Kobe, and Dwayne Wade, and then probably you get to the James Harden. But listen, the longevity does matter. He's still cooking, still an all-star right now at this age, and how he's continued to stay healthy and put the work in. But yeah, listen, I think he's a top 5 shooting guard. You got to throw a guy in like Klay Thompson, who's also, one of the greatest shooters of all time, who's a shooting guard, and not even talking about the older guys with the Reggie Millers of the world. So Harden's very good. I love him. I play with him. I had my best year of my career with James Harden, but I'd probably have to rank D Wade over him, especially because we're talking about both sides of the ball as well. It's D Wade.
Lou, agree?
I gotta agree with Chandler. I'm going D Wade on this one. Both of those guys are obvious first ballot Hall of Famers. D Wade already having his way with that, but he's a champion. The things that he was able to do, the way, like again, we talk about shifting cultures. Dwayne Wade shifted culture in Miami and turned that team into a champion. With Shaquille O'Neal, and then twice more with LeBron and Chris Bosh. You saw the work that he put in and what he was able to accomplish based on what he did at that 2-guard position. And James is still seeking that type of success. Individual success, he's had it. That's one of the things that you can't take away from James Harden. But at this point of his career, he'll tell you he'll probably trade all of that in for a shot at the NBA championship. And that's something that D Wade has experienced time and time again. And so, no, I'm not buying. I think it's still D Wade.
All right, that's 2. We got another one, Lou. Colin, this is a hot take. I'm just going to preface it. Colin Cowherd said that Cooper Flagg will be the best player to come out of Duke. Duke. The factory for basketball. Lou, you buying that?
I'm not buying that. So many different guys that wore a Duke uniform that I can think of before Cooper Flagg. And Cooper Flagg is still building legacy as a college player. Like, let's see what happens after next Tuesday. Like, let's see what conversation we're having then and then you can compare that to the resumes of some other guys that's worn Duke uniforms. But I don't want this to be a Lou Will don't rock with Cooper Flagg type of show. But it's still work to be done. It's still work to be put in. And so no, I'm not buying that. And I'm also a Tar Heel type of guy anyway. So I'm not even the right person to ask this type of question to. But no, I'm not buying that at all.
Can we slow down, Chandler? Can we slow down with Cooper Flagg? That's all I'm asking.
Listen, the kid has it all. He's got the swag. He's got the game. By the way, he is leading this team right now. As big of a Florida Gator homer as I am, Duke looks like the best team right now in the country. They have played extremely well. He plays both sides of the ball. He can play multiple positions. The dude's going to be able to play 1 through 5. I worry about his outside shooting. He's got to continue to shoot the ball better at an efficient clip. We're talking Duke. I mean, I don't even have to name the players that have come out of that school that have already had great careers, and this kid has yet to be drafted. So I think even doing these kind of rankings is not fair to him. Let's just let this kid develop and watch him become great. But he has a chance. I'll say that he's got a chance to be, the best player to come out of Duke. He's got a chance to be the best. He's probably the best freshman to ever play at Duke. I'll give him that. Best player.
That's a list we could start. Best freshman to play.
And you know what? And let me say this. It feels like we're getting in that time of year, Chandler, where we're starting to build our storylines and our narratives about Cooper Flagg, to build them up, to break them down. I'm like, and I'm saying that because you're like, is he gonna change the playoffs, or is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do that? And then the minute that he falls short of the expectation that somebody else puts on him, he's gonna be less of a player because of that. Like, I wish we would just allow some of these young guys to grow and build and do the things that they're gonna do. So, Colin, I know that's his job, and he's gonna give you some shock jock takes from time and time again. But it's like, man, damn, just let the kid be what he's gonna be. And if he turns into the best player in Duke's history as far as basketball goes, then allow him to be that. But he's still building. Like, we don't know what's gonna become of that. And if he loses in the Final Four, do we still have that conversation? So again, it's just narratives and conversations that we build up to have for somebody to fall short.
If he loses in the Final Four, he sucks.
It's a great comment though, because when he does get his ass busted by Florida in the national champion, I think the whole narrative may change.
Then we can all just put this to rest. Yeah. He won't even get drafted. It'll just be a whole thing.
It's just a build up to break down.
You were a highly touted dude at a high school, McDonald's All-American. When you are that guy and this kid, we've put him on this pedestal since Montverde, since the #1 high school team in the country, to Duke, and now he keeps checking every box he's going. So there is some responsibility on him that he's got to handle these expectations and this pressure of being that guy, of being the #1 pick, of being everything he's been already. And so far, he's handled it with class, and he's handled it unbelievably. And
I'm just noticing different angles. Like, we had a conversation earlier this year about a LeBron James comparison. You know what I'm saying? Now we're putting the best player in the Duke history on it. Like, it's like we don't know. And it's okay for us. It's okay for us not to know. But us people in media now, that we're in media, there's like this thing where it's a rush to be smart. Somebody has to be the first one to say something, and then look back years ago and say, "I told you so," whether it's good or bad.
Well, and by the way, let's say
I think he's gonna stink, and I think he's about what do I get to be right?
Do it.
Like, what?
Yes, you do.
That's my prize. I called it that he wasn't gonna be that good, or he's gonna get hurt. Like, it's
precisely,
that's
Chandler.
currency.
Yes.
Yeah, so 5 years from now, you can be like, ha, 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 I was a genius. By the way, there sure are a lot of people wanting this kid to be the best. That's interesting to me. And someone in the comments said Grant Hill was the best freshman at Duke. So there's that. We have to redo that list already. We just made it up, and now we got to redo it. Okay, moving on, Chandler. Jalen Brunson said he would put his money on Tibbs in a fight between Tibbs and Josh Hart. First of all, I would pay all my money just to see. Yes, yes. So you buy, Tibbs might be crazy. He might be one of those fighters that, like, no rules and just goes nuts. What do you think?
He might be. Josh Hart would beat the brakes off this dude. Like, what This is them being silly. This is them having their relationship and their banter, and I love it, by the way. And I love that he's able to say this about a Tom Thibodeau, who's not the most personable guy, but Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, this dynamic of their podcast that does bring this side of Tom Thibodeau out that we've never seen before. Obviously, this is a joke. Obviously, this is lighthearted. But yeah, I'm taking the 30-year-old, versatile NBA player over the head ball coach here.
I don't know, Lou. I see a little Mick Foley in this situation, or maybe he goes for some brass knuckles when things are. I think Tibbs fights dirty. I really do.
Josh Hart beat the hell out that old man. Let's move on.
Okay, fine. We're moving on. Paul Pierce said that Jokic might be the most skilled player the NBA has ever seen. Lou, you buying that?
Ever? See, that's what we have ever. I can't fit my answer into like a 30, 45 second slot and think of all the skilled players that I've seen. Like, I don't know, man. He's going to be in that conversation for sure. He's definitely going to be in that conversation. Like, you can't really exclude him out of that right now. But then, you're going to have the Michael Jordan conversation. You're going to have a LeBron James conversation. You're going to have a Steph Curry conversation. You're going to have you're going to have a Kevin Durant conversation. We talk about skill. Skill is one thing. To me, skill is being able to shoot, run, dribble, pass, do all of these things. Then you're having a different conversation. And then the goalposts are going to start getting moved around about who won what and who did this and that. No, the most skilled, ever is a tough thing to put on him. I hate to put ever on anybody that's still building out their resumes, man. But he's going to be in the conversation. So most skilled ever, that's tough. But he's definitely in the conversation.
Ever's one of those words, like forever, never, ever. These are tough words, Chandler. That when you hear them, you kind of take a step back.
Yeah, I'm copping deuces on this one. I don't know.
I'm not buying it, but I'm with Lou. Like, we're talking ever, all the greats, like, in the history of the world. And listen, there's no denying what this dude is doing. All the MVPs, all the accolades, his stats are absolutely gross. Like the things about talent, you have to factor in size and ability to do things on both sides of the ball. And we see him at his size, throw these dimes and make everyone around him better while still filling up the stat sheet with rebounds and points. And he's efficient, and he's basically a point guard out there at 7 foot tall. So I think he will be in the conversation. I think it's his game is so unique when you start talking about the center position, what he brings to the table. But yeah, listen, there's going to be big Magic Johnson skill guys back in the day. There's going to be Victor Wembanyama, pretty skilled for his size. We've never seen something like that. So does that count more that he's 7'6" versus this guy? There's so much talent in the world, and Jokic will always be in the conversation. But again, to say ever is a little bit nuts, but not that nuts. Like I said, I'm not buying it, but I'm not buying it.
Not buying it. A new segment. Brett Siegel said there have been whispers and loud conversations on my part among league personnel about the possibility of the Spurs adding Kevin Durant, which would then make one of the coolest scoring trios with Fox, Wembanyama, and Durant. Chandler, are you buying that this would rock?
Yeah, I am. I think he's exactly what they need. I think it's good for him because it's not necessarily a super team that he's going to. So I think optics-wise, media-wise, he won't get as crushed to make a move like this. And honestly, I don't think he cares. Like, I think he's at the point he wants to win. He wants to have fun. He wants to get paired with talented guys. And this is a great duo to have that chance to be able to, be, Wemby to be under the tutelage of him and kind of expand his game, especially offensively, even more, having KD next to him for however many years. I think it's perfect. It's interesting to see, what they'd have to give up if he could just sign there. Like, there's details of it. But man, that trio, that big three it's interesting to see what kind of, if Pop is going to be back. I hope, knock on wood, health reasons, but go get Kevin Durant. I bet you Pop is back next year to coach that team. So that would be awesome. And I do think this fits. I think his time is out in Phoenix. That did not go well. And I think San Antonio, this is exactly what they need to kind of be that up and coming scary team to contenders with Kevin Durant.
You know, I don't think they are a super team, but they would definitely be called a super team, Chandler. You
Mhm.
know, that's how this thing works, especially when you got a guy like De'Aaron Fox having a resume that he's having, and you got Wemby who's still building a legacy, and we're already putting the evers and the best ofs and all of that on Wemby as it is, and we already know what Kevin Durant brings to the table. Like, I don't agree with the notion that this will be a super team, but they're definitely going to be called one. And I think this will be a great fit for Kevin Durant because you can allow these young superstars to do all of the heavy lifting, and you can still go out there and be Kevin Durant. And all the success isn't on your shoulders. You become the OG. You become the vet to one of the best players that's predicted to be of the NBA in a very, very long time. So for you to go there, have a point guard of the future, have a whatever Wemby is, 1 through 5 of the future, and you be the same thing, and they put great pieces around you. I think this is a fit that makes sense for sure.
My God, those ticket prices have already gone up. It's going to be insane.